All right. Hey guys, my name is Kamal. Welcome to the eighth lecture on SQL for Actuaries. Today we will discuss about the CRUD operations. So far we have covered the basics, intermediate, and the advanced level. But there are a lot of different small things that we have to cover. So that thing is CRUD operations. That is create, read, update, and delete. So let's begin. So I will go to my SQL and let's close this query. All right. And I have this document. You will find this document in the description below. All right. Now, first one is the create statement. So the point is that with the help of SQL, I can, create a table. I can insert the statements as well. So that is what this query is going to do. What we are trying to say is that, okay, that with the help of this syntax, that is insert into, then you have to give the table name, then what are those columns in which you have to put the value, and then you will put those values. And if there are multiple rows, then you can follow this syntax. The concept is same, right? Let's do this with the help of one example. Okay, so I will go to this Northwind database. I have this customers table. Let's say what I'll do, I will type select everything from customers. Okay. All right. So I have this table. Now let's say I want to add two more rows, and for that I want to give some values. But there is one value that is compulsory that you have to give that value, that is to the primary key. When I use the word primary key, it simply means that there has to be one value which should be unique in particular table, so that each and every different value can be identified with the help of that. Same like that, you are applying a VLOOKUP, then you are using some kind of array with the help of which you are extracting those values. Or you have some kind of primary key. For example, in your school time, you used to have a roll number this, roll number that. And in fact, even your in your actuarial exams, your primary key, that the database that the institute has, is with respect to your membership ID, right? So these are all primary keys that we are talking about. So if I want to know about what is the primary key of this customers table, what I will do is I will expand this table, expand the columns, and then I will find this thing, that customer ID PK. PK means primary key, that this is the primary key which contains the characters, and it has to be not null. What are these things we will touch upon, but for now focus on the primary key. It means that if I have to insert some values, then I have to make sure that I have to give the primary key values as well. Okay, so let's say that I want to create two more rows. So what I will do is I will type insert into. Okay, insert into, then you have to give the table name. So table name is customers. Insert into customers, then you have to mention your column names in which you want to give your values. So I will type customer ID, which is compulsory, as I said. Okay, customer ID, comma, let's say company name, then what else, that is, let's say city, and let's say country. One more point, over here it is written not null. It means that it is compulsory that you have to give the value. It means that you have to give the unique value, and not null means that you have to give the value. Simply, like customer ID is a column in which if you are adding one more row, so you have to make sure that value has to be provided to this particular column, otherwise your query will not run. That is what the meaning of not null is, that value has to be there. For example, again, your membership ID in your institute, if you don't have the membership ID, so it will not work, right? So the same concept apply over here as well. So I have this. So insert into customers, and I have these four columns in which I want to give the values. So I will type values. Okay, what are the values? So for the customer ID, let's say I will type KGF. Okay, the company name is, let's say, Rocky. The city name is, let's say, what should I type? Bangalore. Okay, and the country is India. So this is just one row that I have added. If I trigger this, it will work. let's say I want to add multiple values, like multiple rows. So I will put comma, and then let's say I will add one more row. I will type RRR, comma, let's say Rajamouli. Rajamouli is the company name. Just taking an example over here. City is, let's say, Chennai, and country is India. All right. Now, if I trigger this query, two rows affected. So it means that this query has been successfully triggered. But I want to see whether it has worked perfectly or not. So what I will do is I will type select everything from customers where the customer ID in the KGF and RRR. Okay. We have covered all of these things in our previous 7 videos. So you can see, like, I have the customer ID, I have the company name, and I have the city along with the country. For all of other columns, I have not provided any value. That is why my SQL is showing null. And we don't have any problem because it is already mentioned that for all of the other columns, even if you don't have any values, that is fine. I am not going to give you an error. That is what SQL is trying to say, plain and simple. So that is what the concept of create statement is, that how you can create the statements. Is that clear? You don't you can see, like, I have already mentioned these examples over here for you guys. Now let's come to the next one, that is the read statement. So whatever over here, what we are trying to say is, just give me a second. Okay, one more point. This thing is not going to be in the read. It is also the part of create. One more portion that we have to cover in case of in case of create is that how you can create a table. Okay. We have seen that how we can create the rows within the existing table. But if I want to add one more table, how can I do that? So that is the syntax, that is create table, then give the name of the table, and then give the name of the column. Then what should be the data type of that column? For example, this is the column name, that is customer ID, we can see. And then in the bracket, I have applied the primary key, and this is the characteristic. So basically the data type, that it is the character. Basically you will provide the character to those particular value. And then there are some constraints that you want to apply. Simple. Like in this case, I am applying the constraint that it should be not null and it should be primary key. So these are the constraints to make sure it helps us in the data validation. For example, let's take an example from the insurance perspective, that the probability can never be greater than 1 or less than 0. Okay. Or let's say the mortality rate cannot be more than 1. And if someone has put more than the value of 1, then it means that there is a problem in the data entry. Or let's take an example of age, that if the data administration team of an insurance company is just inserting the data, and we can just apply the conditions that the value cannot be negative and cannot be more than, let's say, 120 or 100. All right. So these are the data validations that I am trying to apply within my table to ensure that the scope of error will be minimized. Okay. So let's say how we can create the table. So I will type create table over here. Let's keep it this side. Okay. Now create table. Okay. Let's call this table as persons. Create table named as persons. Now within that, I have to provide the column name. Let's say the column name is ID. Okay. Then I am saying that the value should be integer. So I will type int, and if it has to be character, I will type nchar. Okay. Value has to be integer. And then I am applying the constraints that it should be not null and primary key as well. I will add one more column. Let's call it, what should I say? The first name. Okay. And the value is variable character 255. So just forget about this 255. You can just simply focus on this variable character. Okay. It simply means that you are saying that you will type a string value over there, like the text, and it can contain the number as well. Okay, but over here in this case it has to be an integer value. It should not be 2.3. It should not, so it will be either 2 or 3 and so on. So these are the integers. Okay, and comma I will type not null, and I will add one more column. Let's say last name variable character 255, and it just don't type not null. By default it will take the value as null. Let you can provide the null values, basically no values you can provide, but for the first name you have to provide the values. Okay, now I will close this, and there you go. So there is a problem over there that we have to focus on. Now what is that problem? Let's take a look. I am creating a table named as persons. Then I am writing that it has to be an integer. Then there is no need of commas over there. Integer, which the column name is this ID, then it has to be an integer, not null, primary key. Okay, then second one is the first name, and we don't have to put the commas for that, so it will be variable character, not null, and then the comma, last name, and the variable character is this one. Okay, so now if I trigger this, the command completed successfully, but I am not able to see this table named as persons over here. So what we have to do is we have to refresh our database. So let me refresh, expand my tables, and you can see that over there you have the table named as persons. You can see we don't have any values over there, but we know that how we can insert the values using the insert into statement. And if I expand this, expand the columns, you can see that it is an integer, primary key, not null, and it is null because we have not provided any value. So by default it is going to assume that you may provide or may not provide. SQL is not going to give you an error. All right, so that is what the concept of create statement, that is with respect to the adding rows and from the perspective of adding a table. Next one is the read statement. So whatever we have covered in our first 7 lectures is the read statement. We call it the select statements, right? Basically whatever is there in your database, you are extracting that data and you are reading that data instead of making any kind of changes. It means that you are using the read statement. Okay, it allows you to retrieve the specific records and select their values. So that is what we have covered in all our previous 7 lectures. Simple. So we have done with the create statement, read statement. Now let's move on to the next one, that is the update statement. So it helps you in updating your existing records in a table. Okay, so the syntax is this one: update table name. So let's say I will go over there, update table name. Let's take this same example, customers. Okay, update customers. What is there? Set column 1 is equal to value 1. Set column 1. Let's take our previous example where we have added the let me open first of all for you the select everything from the customers. Let me show you this table. So this is my table. I will apply the condition where customer ID in KGF, comma RRR. Okay, execute this. Let's say I want to change this value of Rajamouli to SS Rajamouli and city from Chennai to Mumbai. Okay, let's do this. So what I will do, I will type update. So what was the syntax? Update table name. So table name is customers. Okay, update table name. Then set over here, set column 1 is equal to value 1. So set column 1 means company name is equal to, let's change it to SS Rajamouli. Okay, I am updating this value basically. So set company name is equal to this, and city is equal to Mumbai. Okay, Mumbai, yeah, it is correct. So I have done this. Then I will type the where condition, because my SQL is right now confused that you want to update this column value is equal to this one, but in which particular row? So where the customer ID is equal to RRR. So you see how beneficial it is to have a primary key. If there are more than one value in the customer ID column, so it will be the confusing for SQL. That is why we are saying that the primary key means that you are creating the unique values in that particular column, so that whatever you want to change in any of the other data value, you can do that with the help of primary key. So we are saying that I want to update the company name column with the value SS Rajamouli as a value, where the customer ID is RRR, and the same with the city. So now if I trigger this, let's remove this, execute this. So it is done. I can confirm that, select everything from customers where the customer ID equal to RRR. Let's execute this. And now you can see that the answer contains SS Rajamouli and the city is Mumbai, not Chennai. Pretty simple. So that is what the concept of update is, that you are modifying your existing records in a table. Now let's come to the last one, that is delete. That how you can delete the rows, similarly how you can delete any table. Okay, the syntax is delete from the table name where condition is true. So I will type, let's take this example, delete, then from customers table, where, let's remove these two records that we have added, that is of KGF and RRR, where customer ID in KGF, RRR, and there you go. Two rows affected. So now if I want to confirm, select everything from customers, and now execute this, and let's apply where condition, where the customer ID is in KGF, RRR, and you can see we don't have any value because we have deleted them. Okay, so that is regarding the delete statement. But we have over here that you can delete the table as well. So there are two ways. One way is just simply type this delete from and the table name customers. But in your SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, you can just simply go over there. Let's say this person table I want to delete. So just click on delete and click on OK, and the table will be deleted. All right, these are the all four statements that we have covered: create, read, update, and delete. In the next lecture, I am going to cover the Python, SQL, how we can connect both of them. So I hope that you all enjoyed this. You can go to the YouTube and subscribe to my channel named as Actuary Sense. Similarly, you can go to our LinkedIn page by the name Actuary Sense and follow us over there. All right, so I hope that you all enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, KS.